welcome back. Combat Insider Joshua Furs here, Nick Portella. My eyes are burning, so if I'm a little puffy, forgive me. We got a very special guest here today, AMI 6-0 Mike Delouisa, #1 in Pennsylvania, #2 in Jersey. He's the Maverick MMA 155-pound champion. Sorry, 170-pound champion, Dead Serious MMA 155-pound champion. I'm out of breath now. And he's going for the 170-pound belt pretty soon. Mike, that's a mouthful, man, but I guess what's going on with you lately?
Nothing much, man. We just had our first baby. Our son, Michael Paul, was born on December 11th, so I've kind of been taking a hiatus for the last couple of months from competing, but I've been staying in the gym, and I'm ready to get back in there and take my last amateur fight.
Oh, we've had this conversation. This is it? This is the last one?
Look, I've been trying to get my shin pads off, those shin guards. I want to take those off, and I want to get a fight where I can do some ground and pound, and it just hasn't come to fruition. So hopefully it'll come to fruition May 4th, and I'll get my hand raised again.
So the cool thing about this is I've seen most of your 6 fights. I've been in attendance for most of them, and for the most part, your victories are fairly dominant. Like none of the fights look close from where I'm sitting anyway, and I can't sit any closer than I am. So how did this May 4th, you're going out to get another piece of hardware. How did this fight come about with Micah Hearn, who's 4-1?
Well, I had an opportunity. My coach knows, as soon as we had the baby, I said, I need to start training again. I got up to about, me, Nick, I get pretty heavy after my fights, and I think that's my own fault because I just end up splurging. But I got up to like 215 after my fight September 22nd against Ibrahim Kali. And so I said, I need to get back in the gym. So, we were looking at dates in April or May, and April 27th came around against Trent Stump that for the Stellar Fight welterweight championship. And, I want to fight the best guy. So I said, sure, that's an awesome fight. The kid's very, very good. Be a good matchup for me, good test. But I talked to Dead Serious, and they said that they had a fight May 4th in Atlantic City. Now, Atlantic City, I never made it down to Atlantic City. As people know, there's the Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City hosts the state tournament for high school wrestling in New Jersey, and that's a huge tournament that I never actually made it down there, but I actually beat a couple kids that made it down there in place. So in high school, I think I never really performed up to my ability, and as soon as I started fighting, I put all that shit behind me, and I'm going out there to get a W every time. So I want to fight in Atlantic City against the best possible kid for a strap. The strap doesn't really matter, but the best possible competition in Atlantic City. That's all I want, man. So that's what I took, and it'll give me an extra week to get this weight off.
You'll get there. I've watched you go from 70 to 55 in short time. Yeah, I've seen it. So now it's funny. Your opponent and you have the same, only one opponent in common, and Ibrahim Kali was your last fight and his last fight. So that guy was 3-0 until he bumped into you characters.
I think so, right? And now he's 3-3 or something. My Ahern has an awesome wrestling background, and obviously I have a wrestling background. I look at I obviously watch his Bukowski fight and his Ibrahim Kali fight, and I see that he's a good wrestler. But the one knock I had against myself was I didn't finish Kali, and I thought that he was very finishable on the feet and on the ground. Honestly, I was very aggravated that I didn't get that finish, but I did have a hiatus before I did fight him. And it was good to go all 3 rounds. But Ahern was working with an extra minute in Dead Serious rounds. So he had 3 3-minute rounds. I think I had 3 2-minute rounds, which is crazy short. So he actually ended up finishing Kali, and that's something I'm a little aggravated about. That's something he has over me. But I want to see if I can go in there on May 4th and finish this kid, Mike Ahern. I think he's a little bit bigger than me. He's like 6 feet tall. I know he's an iron worker, so he's probably a strong kid. But I'm going to see if we can go and get done in there May 4th.
The exciting... Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, obviously you got the lightweight and the welterweight title. When you jump to pro, what do you think you're looking at, as your, I guess, priority weight class? You want to stay lightweight? You want to stay at welterweight? You want to dabble in both?
I got to be honest, man. I used to wrestle at 52 and 60 in high school, and in college I wrestled 57. I honestly think that if I treat my body like I'm a professional all year round, and you know, as a pro, you're obviously training a little bit more, and you're paying attention to your diet a little bit more. Yep. I think I could actually make 45. I know Max Holloway makes 45. I think when I'm healthy, and I'm not cutting weight, because every fight that I have, I don't cut weight. I just change my lifestyle, and the weight starts to fall right off. Like anybody that's out there and they're saying, "Oh, I'm heavy, I need to lose weight," just change your eating habits, and that weight doesn't want to be there, you know. So when I change my eating habits before I even start my cut, I get down to 75, 70. You know, so me fighting at 170 is kind of fighting at my natural weight. So I think that if I start to, live a little healthier lifestyle, I can make 45 easy. Maybe 55 for like the first one or first two, but this is my last amateur fight, and we're cutting this weight off, and it's not coming back on.
So this is your 7th amateur fight coming up, right? This will be number 7. Why?
It would have been my 8th.
Okay. Why the weight? Was the weight to jump to pro strategic, or was it just things just kind of fell into place, and now is the right time?
Listen, man, I've been training since I was 18 years old, and I've been wrestling since I was in 8th grade. And I know if you guys have ever competed in anything that's somewhat like this combative sport, it's crazy. You get hit, you get knocked around, you get separated from your senses. You can break limbs, and it's scary. I train with some of the best guys in this part of Jersey. I trained. I was just at Nicatone's this past week, and the names that are walking in that door: Marlon Moraes, Eddie Alvarez. I was rolling around with this guy Nate. He's gonna go pro soon. Rich Patishnak, Emmanuel Wallow, all these high level pros. They tell me, they're like, you're ready, but do it the right way. I don't want to be one of these kids that rush into pro and you have a losing record. I've trained with people like that. That just rush into pro and they have horrible records. And you need a good record. You need a good base. And this is not only about fighting and winning. It's about selling yourself. And if I want to do this and I want to make money and put food on the table for my family doing this, you got to do it the right way. So I think I'm doing it the right way. I've had a couple broken hands, a couple surgeries. That's why I've kind of taken a couple months in between fights. But if I wasn't hurt, I think I'd be pro by now. But you just got to do it the right way. You can't be doing anything half-assed. None of this can be done half-assed. If you do it half-assed, you're screwed.
I've been asking him since he was 3-0, just for the record.
So is this something that kind of leads into my next question? So is this it for you? Like, is this full-time training, full-time fighting from here on out? Is this something that's this is what's going to consume you for the next however long your career is? Like, is this it for you?
Well, that's the goal. I mean, there's not a ton of crazy money in this sport at this level. Yeah. You see kids like Phil Caracappa, going out there and dominating his opponents. He's 8-0 now. But he's not. I wouldn't say he's making $10,000 a fight. You can't really live off that. So you obviously have to have a job, and this is kind of like a hobby until you really make it. But obviously, I have people like Nick Portella who believe in me and see that I'm a good person and see that I can go far. And it's actually with you guys, the media and the fans, that are actually going to help me catapult into bigger and better things. It's just, and then there's the self-belief aspect. You have to know that you can make it and compete with the best in the world. But that also comes with how hard you train and how much you focus on it. But yeah, man, this is like a second job. Honestly, I have 2 jobs. I have 3 jobs. You have the job you work at all day, 9 to 5. Then you got to go right to training. And then you got to go home and you got to be a dad and you got to be a fiance or a boyfriend or whatever you're going to be at home. You never stop. So this is the life I chose. This is the life I like to live, and it's honestly very beneficial. You get to meet cool people and you get to meet train with awesome people that you never thought that you'd be training with, only fighting on TV.
It's kind of wild, man. Like I said, I've been watching you fight since the beginning, and that first time that we talked, I just kind of, how you watch somebody and you just. You're like, there's something about them, so it was kind of cool the way I got to meet you. just we crossed paths, and you were able to come out here, come on the radio show. We did all kinds of cool things. So I'm excited. I know we have privileges down there in Atlantic City. So the plan is to definitely come to see you fight, especially if it's going to be your last amateur fight. I'll bring your #1 fan with me too, just because he won't let me live it down. He won't let me live it down. Like, I swear, he's rough on me. I don't want to fight him about it. He's crazy.
Exactly, right? That's a losing battle. Yeah,
but as you see, man, every time, first when we show up, right to see you. So
that's a good thing. That's what pushes me too. As an amateur, as somebody who started in this sport, only sparring against pro fighters and getting my butt beat every day, and still do to this day. It's a humbling sport. So when you hear that you have fans, or when you hear that you have a young kid that looks up to you, you're kind of like, what, really? Like, it's people look up to me. So it's motivating, and it helps me push myself in the gym. And when I go out and fight in the cage, like I remember my last fight, you feel the crowd, man. Like, I think that when the crowd is bigger, the better I'll do. Like if I get to the UFC, which is the ultimate goal, I don't think I'll be able. I don't think I'll be able to get out of that zone. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be so hard to come back down from that adrenaline rush. It's so crazy when you have people out there that really care about you and they're screaming, and that's what drives me, man. It's a feeling unlike you could ever describe.
I can say from witnessing it, if anybody has put themselves on the correct path, the way you did it. Like, I know I used to bust on you before when you were 3-0, but you could have went pro then. But you told me the same thing then you're telling me now. I wanted to take my time. I'm not in a rush. I want to, pay my dues and do it the right way. And I'm happy you did do it that way.
Well, that's a credit to everybody I have around me. My coaches and my teammates. Those are the guys that really pushed me in the right direction. I can't really take any credit for that. That's people that have done it the right way and the wrong way ahead of me. And I see what they've done, and I try to go on the right path, and they really helped me with that. So I can't really take any credit, but I want to be that guy. I know it took a long time as an amateur, but I want to be that guy that bursts on the scene, and you're like, holy shit, where'd this guy come from? Like that Odell Beckham trade. You're like, what the hell? Where did that come from? Right. I want to be that Odell Beckham trade as a pro. I want people to be like, holy crap, like, this kid's gonna go far, And I think I have the potential to do that. I just think it's self-belief is what's going to get me there, and that's the secret, man.
100%.
Well, Mike, as always, man, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. But for your fans, see, you're building fans, bro. Where can they find you? What's the best way they can, look you up on social media if somebody's interested in seeing when you're fighting, what you're up to? What's the best way?
A lot of that stuff will be posted on my Instagram. It's at Daddy Delo, DADIDELO, or my Facebook, Michael Delouisa. My name is spelled DELOUISA. If anybody's interested, I usually post training videos, lifestyle videos, and obviously when my next fight will be. Especially leading up to this one, it's going to be a pretty big one, and I hope to sell a lot of tickets, and I hope to see a lot of fans there because it's going to be a good one.
And don't forget to check him out, Dead Serious MMA, on May 4th in Atlantic City for the welterweight title, fighting Mike Ahern. Check it out. Don't miss it. Hopefully we'll get to be there and see it live in person. And that's all we got, sir. And please check him out. Go to his social media. Give him a follow. Give him a like. Give him all that good stuff. Maybe he likes long walks on the beach. I don't know. Shoot him a message. And for Nick Portella, for Josh Furs, that's Mike Delouisa. We're Combat Insiders, and we're out.